A pleasant good afternoon, good evening to you. Most of you who follow my YouTube channel know that I've not been on YouTube for a while because that channel was hacked and taken down. As such, I have not been active on YouTube as I have. I created a new channel, but I have not been actively posting videos on it. Having said that, I've gotten that out of the way. That is a brand new channel. Just created a few months, but as I said, I've been a little bit negligent because I've been busy. But I'm going to try to remediate that problem now and get back to talking to you guys. For those of you who would like to support that channel is in Mike. Is that Mike Unlike No Other? That's Mike Unlike Others, Mike Unlike Others on YouTube. Sorry, there is no other. It's Mike Unlike Others. You can follow that channel. Please support that channel um, by liking the videos, sharing the videos, and subscribing to the channel if you choose to. Thank you so much. Having gotten out of the way, now listen. Um, I have not been talking about or writing about anything in Jamaica, but you know I always talk and support the former police, my former colleagues in the JCF. I've always supported them, and I believe that they need the support they can get. One of the reasons I've kind of like just thrown up my hands is the level of exasperation that I feel based on the fact that I don't feel like the officers on the ground are receiving the support they need, even though some people cry hell or high water to tell me that yes, officers are on the ground. I mean, I travel to Jamaica quite frequently, and when I go to Jamaica, I don't feel the presence of the police. I see the police. When you do see a patrol vehicle, even on the highway, the officers are out of the vehicle, which is highly ineffective. They're out of the vehicle standing by the side of the road. I feel if the officers are inside their vehicles, they'd be a lot more effective in at least getting motorists to slow down because they know the cops are going to come chasing after them and they'll be receiving hefty tickets. But having said that, it seemed like this is something that the JCF is dragging itself along like a snail into the 21st century on some of those issues that are so simple to remediate. But I still do support the JCF. And as I said, one of the reasons that I've continued to howl and scream has been what I thought to be the level of or the lack of support by the police high command for the men and women under their command. And I've always thought that the high command of the police force was highly incompetent and was not strong enough in standing up to the politicians, many of them who are on both sides of the aisle, many of whom are of less than perfect character. Don't want to be casting aspersions, but I'm definitively saying that many of these politicians walk out of Garden House where they vote on laws, and then they walk into the courtroom. They walk out of Garden House and walk into the courtroom to defend their criminal defend clients. In a situation where that happens, I don't feel that the country's best interest is served when trial lawyers who represent hardened criminals are the people making laws to protect the rest of the Jamaican people. This is why we have the lax laws in Jamaica. And I will continue to sound that drum until I take my last breath. Now, having said that, I was not a fan of Kevin Blake, the new commissioner. I don't know the guy. And as a result, I don't know, I don't think he had the cojones or the bona fides to stand up for the officers. But people tell me that he's been in the streets before he became this tech guy, so to speak. I feel like, and I continue to say that it requires a police officer to be a police officer. But I was impressed today. My brother sent me a video. I don't know what was it. He never said anything. He just sent it to me. So I'm going to play that video for you, even though one video does not make a commissioner make. But I'm going to play it for you, and then I'll have a couple things to say after. Here goes.
Response this afternoon from Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake about the police's lethal force approach. It comes amid concern over the number of persons fatally shot by the security forces so far in 2025. The details in this report. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says so far this year, the country has recorded 12 fatal shootings involving the security forces. That's nearly one every day. Some stakeholders are very concerned and have called on the police leadership to try and reduce the incidence of shootings. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake has responded.
I hear calls to the police to reduce fatal shooting and, be careful, watch the number is going up and stuff like that. We have a tendency to bundle this thing called fatal shooting as if it's all, it's a crime or it's all wrong.
He explained that one of the surest ways to get a reduction in fatal shootings is for thugs to stop turning their weapons on the police. But until that happens,
we will be pursuing criminals wherever they are. It doesn't matter what firepower they have. It doesn't matter how bad they think they are. We are coming. So this call to police to reduce fatal shooting it's wrongly directed. It ought to be directed at criminals who raise their gun. Because you will not get me to tell my police not to pursue criminals. We're going. Right? What I would love these agencies and these persons who are talking about fatal shooting to do is to tell criminals, do not raise the gun at the police.
Yeah. The commissioner saluted the members of the force who he said are on the front lines every day saving Jamaicans' lives. He said the state has invested heavily to ensure while they are trying to save lives, they don't lose theirs to criminals.
I don't spend millions and millions of dollars in 2024, millions of dollars each month training my OST, my fighting force, so that they don't lose a battle against criminals. I don't train them and invest so much money so that criminals can take them out. And so if they just understand that it's a likelihood for you to lose a fight against my men, just understand that and don't even start the fight.
Kerry and Simpson. A tough response this afternoon.
All right. So those of you who follow my blogs for years, for the past 15 years, forget about YouTube or TikTok or any other social media platform that I've used to get the message out. Those of you who have followed my blog, MikeBeckles.com, you all know that I do not equivocate on this issue. You all know that I have, for the last 15 years, written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blogs talking about this very issue. Now listen, am I sitting here and telling you that police officers don't engage in bad shooting? No, I could not say that, even as a former police officer. But here's what I'm going to tell you. There's a system in place to deal with situations. It's called the courts. There is a system in place to deal with police officers who step outside the line of a police officer and become something else. The guidelines for lethal force, might I add, are very clear. Imminent danger. It cannot just be that your life is in danger, the officer's life is in danger, or that someone else's life is in danger because a cop has an idea that somebody may attack them. This is why the term imminent is so crucial to this conversation. The danger must be imminent. So when a criminal points a gun at a police officer or jumps out of a car firing at a police officer, what is the police officer to do? You tell me. But before all of this started, long before INDECOM became a thing in 20 or whenever it was, 2010 or whenever, when Bruce Golding introduced this stupid agency, I have been saying that this started with a criminal supporting agency in Jamaica called Jamaicans for Justice. In other words, it should be Jamaicans for Injustice, because they care nothing about the lives of crime victims. They are wholly centered on the rights of crime initiators, crime producers. And this started when a baby doctor at the University of the West Indies named Carolyn Gomes decided that she was going to take it upon herself to start and convey to the Americans and all whoever she could convey to that the Jamaica Constabulary Force was a killing machine that was summarily killing innocent young men. Now, let me hasten to say this. Jamaica has been and has always been one of the highest, has always had one of the highest rates of murders and violent crimes across the globe. That's a fact. So what Carolyn Gomes started and ran to the Americans with, and anybody who would listen to her, was to conflate all of the fatal shootings in Jamaica and make them seem like they were extrajudicial. That's what Kevin Blake is talking about. When an agency that is paid with tax dollars can say to call on the police to not kill people who confront them with guns, what they're asking the officers to do is to allow the criminals who are shooting at them to murder them. Make no mistake about this. Because each fatal shooting, which Kevin Blake had not gone into details to explain, each police confrontation with armed thugs is separate. It's not a continuing event. It is a separate, each police confrontation with gunmen is a separate event. And so each case rests on its own merit. The level of force that officers use in those encounters, they have to explain why and show why lethal force was justified. But see, Jamaica is a place that run by just loudmouth talking about everybody looking a hype. Yeah? Everybody looking a hype. And INDECOM, just like Carolyn Gomes, get a bus. I will say at Jamaica, just like Carolyn Gomes get a bus and became somebody at Jamaica because she joined something and all of a sudden then give her national honor and all them bullshit. This whole idea, conflation of police fatal shooting now becomes a thing like it's extrajudicial, meaning that it's criminal. The problem, as Kevin Blake said, and I have been saying for almost 2 decades in writing, is that when criminals confront police with weapons, they have made the decision that they're going to die. And so if a criminal, and for those bleached out face monkeys who are running around shooting people and shooting at police, if they don't want to die, then all they have to do is don't shoot at the police. Don't come out with guns. Because if you come out with guns, the cops are going to get you. How dare any of those fools at INDECOM issue a statement talking about police fatal shooting? No, why don't you start a public service campaign educating those little fools that it's a death wish, that it's a kamikaze, that it is a suicidal mission you're on when you decide to attack law enforcement officers. That's what you need to spend your time doing, because ultimately the agency is a freaking waste of time. all the resources that is put into that agency could be put into law enforcement in Jamaica, which would entail that we have a better country. If that amount of resources, those resources are put in law enforcement to upgrade our law enforcement, pay our police officers, we'd have a better country. We don't need INDECOM. The idea is that we need an education campaign to inform. And some of the loudest people in the public space are the criminals and their supporters. But I continue to say that that is not a good representative sample of who Jamaicans are. I fundamentally believe that the Jamaican people are a good people. Most Jamaicans I talk to when I visited my home country, when I visited my home, they're good, decent people. They're not criminal-loving people. No country is perfect, and no people are perfect, but we're good people. But within that small country that we have, they're called Jamaica, that little rock we have, there are some people who definitely do not wish Jamaica well. And those are the loudest voices. But when we get to a situation where those people are paid with tax dollars, then we have a problem. We have an issue. When an agency that is paid with tax dollars can come out calling on police officers to be mindful of fatal shooting when those shootings are justified, when their mandate is to go and investigate, and if there is any impropriety in each individual shooting, their mandate is to flush it out and bring it in front, put it in front of a court. They can't do that. So what do? They get on the sidelines and they parrot the lines of JFJ while they're being paid with tax dollars. This has been going on since Terrence Williams was there. Until people got tired of Terrence Williams and realized that it was a, I don't know, what was it? It was a shit show. A carnival. People got tired of this shit. So now he's lost that platform. And thank God he's lost that salary. People got tired of it. What the Jamaican people need to understand is if criminals do not shoot at police, police are not going to kill them. Fatal shootings will be at a bare minimum. So the conversation ought to be to implore criminals to stop committing crimes. Period. End of story. You don't have to pick up a gun. You can find a job. There's hardcore. There's all kinds of things. But there are a lot of criminals out there. Like I said, these bleach out face monkeys who decide that they don't want to work. They want fast cars. They want motorcycles. They want pretty girls, and they want lots of cash and lots of guns. And this is a society that continues to glorify dancehall culture that perpetuates that the murder culture. That's what they're drawn to. And so they talk about killing and collecting and drinking and forgetting. INDECOM need to shut up. Shut up. And do not get in the way of the police. I salute you, Kevin Blake. I salute you. I normally have zero respect or admiration for the police I command. But I'll tell you, I salute you for standing up for the men and women under your command. Stand up for the men and the women under your command. And do not let these fart heads tell you what to do. Talking about fatal shootings. Tell your criminal collaborators, tell your criminal friends to stop engage in the police in shootouts, and we don't have a problem because the Jamaican state cannot surrender to criminals. And the Jamaican state should never surrender to criminals. I will never surrender to criminals. I applaud Kevin Blake for standing with his men and his women officers, his female officers. Thank you. It has been a breath of fresh air to see a police commissioner stand up and saying, I'm not going to tell my officers to back down. To hell with these people. Who do they think they are?